What's going on, everybody? I'm Cody Rhoads, the founder of KTT Goods Co. out of Eureka, Montana. And this right here, this is the office. I spent over 10 years in the Army, active duty, National Guard. Started active as a 13 Delta, Field Artillery Automated Tactical Data System Specialist. That's the data side. Fire missions, targeting systems, managing the information that gets sent down to the gun line, telling them when and where to shoot. In 2013, I deployed to Afghanistan. Spent about 9 months over there. Came back in 2014 and ended up getting out in 2015. That summer in 2016, I did a little bit of time in the Forest Service in Wyoming. Got certified as a wildland firefighter. Fought on the Beaver Creek fire out of Colorado down there in Wildland, and learned real quick that things can change in a hurry, and it's almost as dangerous as a combat deployment. And then I came back to Michigan in 2017, where I joined the National Guard and reclassed as an 11 Charlie Infantry mortarman. And I decided, instead of telling people where to shoot, I was going to do the shooting. And so in 2022, I deployed to Syria, and that's where I ended up learning a lot when it comes to, things are a whole lot different than they were in 2013-14 when I deployed to Afghanistan, almost 10 years later from my first deployment. So, in the meantime, I had earned my bachelor's degree in computer science, cybersecurity, and networking. And so during that time, I had gotten familiar with technology, a little bit of technology. And during that deployment to Syria, I had gotten familiar with some of the struggles. Jamming of our radio systems. Drones were starting to creep into the area of operations. At that time, it was, as they like to say, flying IEDs were coming up, right? And so things that you could not see were starting to creep into the battlefield. Back in the day, it was Blue Force trackers, right? Now things were getting a lot smaller. ATAC was starting to be a whole lot popular, and and so drones were a whole lot more prevalent, and some of us will know on that deployment we certainly got firsthand experience with that. And so it was really out of that Syria deployment that I realized how much that technology was really creeping its way onto the battlefield. And the war in Ukraine right now is really showing it, right? And so since I got out of the Army in 2024, I've been trying to think of ways that I could contribute to giving back. And I really struggled to find that. And so KTT Goods Co. is my way of doing that, combining both my, expertise when it comes to infantry stuff and my expertise when it comes to IT related subjects. I am trying to combine the best of both worlds, from being the guy on the ground to being the nerd in the science lab. And that's where the idea for things like the tactical Faraday bag, I still don't have a proper name for it. I'd like to think of one. But yeah, so that's where that comes from. And so right now, I got all the materials, everything done up for the Faraday bag. The camouflage pattern, the TV-D1, that's a cool little side project I had going on. And essentially that just came from the environment you see before you right now. taking a whole bunch of pictures around the yard, around the mountains here in the Kootenai and the Tobacco Valley, and putting them all together and coming up with the idea for it. And a cool one that kind of mixes a military camo pattern and like a hunting camo pattern, and something that I thought would be cool to wear. And so what are you going to see out of these videos, right? A lot of what you're going to see behind these videos are, well, like I just said, behind the scenes stuff. I'm going to take you through the process of developing the Faraday bags, some other more YouTube oriented stuff. You're going to see a lot of fun stuff with drones, because to understand your enemy, you have to sometimes train like your enemy. And so we're going to do a whole lot of fun stuff with drones, as you'll see in the coming weeks. I'm going to get some special input from some guests that have already offered their expertise on that area. I'm so looking forward to talking with them more, as you'll see coming up in the future. So yeah, a whole lot of like concealment, thermal, whatever I can get my hands on and talk to the experts in those fields, because I'm not going to stand here and claim to know everything, right? So those are some of the things to look forward to from the YouTube side of things, as well as continued research and development. And like I've stated before in the post, the swag and the merchandise, those are all side things. 100% of the profit that I make from the sales of those are going straight back into the company in order to purchase things like materials for different bags and whatnots for the prototypes and possibly the finished items. And I'm hoping that I can figure out a way to reward the early investors in those things. So here it is, the first video. I hope you enjoyed it. This is probably going to be the driest one you see. And if you made it to the end, thank you so much. And also, I'd like to say thank you to all those that have reached out to me in the first couple weeks here across the Flathead Valley, up here in Eureka, and well, across Montana in general. Thank you so much. And I look forward to making more videos and sticking around a little longer. Thank you.